Just like in sports, baseball, basketball, um, a student can be really good at video game, and then that can transition later in life. Not just with like skills, but actual industry, a profession. Just like in sports, baseball, basketball, um, a student can be really good at video game, and then that can transition later in life. Not just with like skills, but actual industry, a profession.
Welcome to Beyond the Classroom podcast, where we discuss raising healthy children who are balanced and successful and thriving. I am your host, Sarah Barnes, and today we are going to be diving into a topic that's on a lot of parents' minds: video games. From Minecraft to Fortnite to Roblox to Counter-Strike 2, it's part of the modern childhood experience, but it also raises a lot of questions for parents, such as how much is too much? What are our children learning or even being exposed to on these platforms? And how can we as parents guide our children in utilizing these platforms without also engaging in these power struggles and the constant battles? Joining us today is our guest, Mr. Jonathan Martinez, who is the coordinator with the Linwood Expanded Learning Program here at Linwood Unified School District. And he's going to help us explore the digital world and how we can bring a balance into our home when our children are utilizing these apps, as well as maintaining connection with our children. So thank you, Jonathan, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
So if you can you tell us a little bit about your background, your experiences, what you do here at Linwood Unified, and things like that?
Sure, yeah. So I started here at Linwood, actually as a after-school program leader back in 2014. And then since then, I was a high school teacher at Linwood High in the sciences, and then became a baseball coach, an esports coach, instructional lead, and now I'm at the district office as the coordinator over our expanded learning. And at the moment, I'm actually the interim acting assistant principal at Cesar Chavez.
Okay, so you come with us with a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
And so going from your experiences into this topic of like leveling up and the whole gaming do's and don'ts,
Yeah.
I understand that this is also one of your interests and your hobbies, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you got into a little bit of that?
Sure, yeah. So growing up, I was kind of like in a bubble, just because the community that I lived in wasn't that great. So my parents really wanted me to stay at home. What's the best way to stay at home is video games. So I've been playing video games since I was like 6 or 7, and I'm still playing video games, and I'm still competing at at the competitive level in video games and in card games.
Okay. So we're pretty much talking to an expert today who really knows the intricacies of the gaming world, right?
Yeah.
So as for me, I mean, when I was a little girl, it was the big box and like the little like Nintendo, right? It was Mario Brothers, which kind of seems to have made a comeback in recent years.
Yeah.
But gaming today is so different than it was 30 years ago and even like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in today's world as you work with these families as how they are fitting gaming into their lives?
So definitely 30 years ago it was a lot different. 10 years ago, I think while like the genres or like the concept of gaming is the same, pre-2014, I would say that the gaming world was more of like a hobby. You're just playing games either with friends, by yourself. But since 2014, when Amazon acquired Twitch, the streaming industry just blew up. And that's where gaming became more of like a social ecosystem. So kids now, even adults, like they're building communities with video games, off video games and content creation. Gaming is definitely a place where now students are seeing themselves. It's like intertwined within their livelihood, and they're building like communities, making friends, and I think enhancing their critical thinking skills now with the video games.
Okay, that's so interesting because I don't think a lot of parents, we break it down the way you just talked about it, right? It's like a big world, and for us as parents, sometimes we could just view video gaming or even like YouTube videos as we're just giving them screen time, right?
Yeah, sure.
But for the child or even the adolescent, it's not just screen time, it's so much more than that, right?
Yeah.
So for children, it could also be like a main social outlet. So can you talk about that a little bit as to where parents could understand that it's more than just screen time for the child?
Yeah, so I mean, I understand it because my parents were the same way when I was playing video games. And while, yes, it could be looked at as just screen time because you're just facing the screen, there's a lot of benefits that come with video games. The first one I would say is that social interaction. For many of our students, this is where they're making real friends.
Can you elaborate on that? Because when I think of like making friends, I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
they're not outside,
Sure,
they're not
yeah.
talking, they're not in person. So how are they making friends, and how is that benefiting them socially?
Yeah, so I would say, so when you're in a game, especially one that's online, many industries have enabled voice chat or just text chat, where one person from, let's say, in Linwood can be playing someone in New York. And because you're both playing something that you both enjoy, that's the first commonality that you have with each other. And then if you're competing together and winning together, now you're building a little bit more camaraderie and enjoying the game a little bit more. So what you could do is you win something or you're enjoying playing someone and you just send a friend request. It's up to the other person to accept it. But once you do accept it and you play like for longer periods of time, over the course of weeks and months, you start to build that friendship with them. And then they become your friend. Like you look forward to going to play with them later in the day or on the weekend. So it does feel, while they're miles away potentially, it does feel like a true friendship.
Like a genuine friendship. Yeah. Do any of these friendships that, for me, I would think of it like, oh, these are virtual friendships.
Sure, yeah.
Do they ever tend to like meet in person and say, hey, can we actually meet? You seem like a cool dude.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you can see it on YouTube. Like there are people who like do those meetups, older, of course, and it's interesting to see for sure. I've never had that experience where I've met with someone. Actually, no, I have. Now that I think about it, I actually have. No.
You're taking it back.
I'm taking it back. I do remember, actually. I had friends who I played a Warzone with some folks from Texas, and they knew each other because they all live in the same community. But I played with them. We had fun playing together. We were winning a lot. And then during like Halloween, they came to like Universal Horror Nights. And then they messaged me like, hey, do you want to come down? And we could all hang out. And I did. And it was fun. Yeah.
So for the child, it can be beneficial, like the ones that maybe struggle socially at school in person, and they might feel isolated. For those students, it's even more beneficial.
For sure.
Like, they're making a connection with another human being.
Yeah, and it might not even just be like in that virtual sense. There are people locally where they can make friends with because they share that same bond or that same commonality of like loving a specific video game or just video games in general. Yeah. So for example, like the esports program and the gaming club that we had at Linwood High, some of these kids didn't really know each other, and then they became friends because of the game that they play. And they're just enjoying playing games.
Did you say club at Linwood High?
Yeah, we had the night gaming club.
Yeah, how wonderful.
Yeah,
so that was another piece that enhances the social connection then.
Yeah, for sure. It was like maybe 60, 70 students in the classroom during lunch.
That's a big club.
It was kind of popular. Yeah.
Yeah. So the social piece is one of the benefits to gaming. Are there other benefits that our children gain through the gaming world?
Yeah, especially with specific games that come out now where there's like, you have to make quick decisions or there's certain like reflexes that you need. There's hand-eye coordination, especially when it comes to, I know it's looked upon about a lot down by parents, and we can get into it if you want, with shooters. Then there is role-playing games where there's decisions that affect what the outcome is going to be in a specific game.
So that would be like problem-solving skills, basically?
Yeah, like how do you want to go about this specific situation that's happening with your character? And they get to decide that. So now they're thinking like outcomes now, like what they want to do. So there's critical thinking skills. There is teamwork, especially with games that require multiple people and each one has their own specific role.
Right.
One of the biggest esports games is League of Legends, and that requires a lot of teamwork. So being able to communicate with other folks like that, you see that in sports now, physical sports.
Yeah.
It still happens during esports and during video games.
So with all of these positive benefits, at what point does it become, as a parent, I'm like, man, you're spending a lot of time. Like, but I get it because there's positive reinforcements happening, right?
Sure.
There's these reward systems occurring in these kids' brains
Yeah.
with playing, and they're developing a passion for these plays. So it's not all bad, right?
Not all bad.
But at what point, like for a parent, because I could say like, you just broke it down for me in a way that I had never thought of as a mom, because my son like loves to play games, and I would never have thought of those benefits. If anything, I think of like the risk factors. Like as a mom thinking, oh, I'm going to turn off your chat settings. You're not going to be talking to strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know these people. I don't know how old they are. I don't know where they're from. I don't know their intentions.
Sure.
So I'm thinking from that angle as a parent and my child. So there's this disconnect happening, and it could actually create some conflict between us and a strain. But I'm trying to come from a good place. But you're bringing up all these benefits that I'm like, oh wow, I never paused long enough to think or even consider that for my child. But as a parent, when I see like way too many hours, like on the weekend, you just spent like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours straight playing.
Sure, yeah.
I'm like that, to me, I get worried, like that's so too much, and that could become addictive, and it could have like counter effects. So at what point, in your opinion, understanding this rule, does it become too much?
Yeah.
And what are some, I guess, warning signs as a parent that, okay, you know what, our kid we need to start putting limits on this?
Yeah. And I won't be biased, being a gamer for sure with this. I will say that, especially for parents, I'm not a parent yet, just a dog parent. But speaking from experience, there are some warning signs for sure that parents can see. And it's not wrong at all to feel like the way you're kind of expressing it, where turn off the chat settings, or like I want you to be safe, essentially, is what you're saying. Nothing wrong with that. The warning signs I would say is not necessarily how long are they playing. It's more like if what they're playing is replacing things in their life. So if they're playing to the point where meals are being replaced, social events, family outings, sleep, like if these are being replaced by gaming, that would be for sure a warning sign. If their behavior is a little bit more irritable, especially when it comes to not being able to play, that's a warning sign. There's like these little things that we want to keep an eye on when it comes to video games. So while I'll say the hours doesn't really matter, and there is an Oxford study that shows that hours doesn't really matter, it's more of what's the livelihood of the students during that gaming session.
Or even the quality of their existence for that, whatever age they are, right?
Yeah. Because there's some, it also depends on the game that they're playing too. It's more if the student is enjoying and having fun, then I think the hours, it doesn't really matter because they're enjoying and they're having fun. But if during that time that they're playing and they're frustrated all the time, or it's becoming where they're having like difficulties, then I think it's time to adjust that.
Yeah, so and they're getting frustrated and they're screaming and like getting so mad and you want to like break the TV or the console. You're okay, this is a little out of hand, right?
Yeah. And I've been there, so I know where the student's coming from. It's a very frustrating thing to want to win. I think a lot of us who are competitors or just love to compete, not necessarily in video games, but in sports or just anything in life where we really want to just do well in.
Yeah.
When we don't do well and we have like high expectations of ourselves, that's where the frustration comes in. But those could be learning points for students.
Right.
Just like for all of us, like those moments where things just aren't going our way, it could be a time to kind of regulate our emotions and see how can we learn from this, how can we better ourselves during those times.
And the younger the child, they're not going to necessarily be aware of
True.
of any of like how it's negatively impacting them, right? I mean, they're kind of going through those experiences. But would you say it takes the parent to observe and say, okay, and have these conversations with our kids, like, hey, I'm really noticing that. I like how you phrased it, like you're replacing something with this game, basically. For example, like you didn't do your homework today, and you were an A/B student.
Right.
And now your grades are declining, like you're getting C's, D's, and F's, and that was never you before.
Right.
So that could be an example of how it might be too much.
Yeah, exactly. And that's being an observant parent like that is exactly what you need to do, especially if you have a son or daughter who is really into gaming.
Yeah.
A student, B student, and all of a sudden grades are slip, and the only thing that's changed within their life is just playing more video games. I think, yeah, that's a warning sign right there, and that's a conversation that needs to be had with the student.
Yeah, because children are not like built in, even us adults, like we're not built in with balance, right?
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
balance is a skill that's learned and something that you have to be intentional about all the time. And with too much gaming, there's actually an imbalance that has begun
Could happen, for sure.
it's begun and it kind of becomes a snowball effect, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So balance looks different for every family and it's not always easily achievable. What are some, I guess, recommendations you would be able to make to help with these families achieve a balance where we're not engaging in this power struggle, we're not engaging in this constant back and forth, this battle,
Right.
but really promoting empathically with our children and explaining to them, educating them, informing them, like, okay, we're going to create this balance. What can that look like? And I guess whether it was your upbringing or with some of our families today, again, every home looks different.
Right.
So what can some of those balances look like and how can parents, I guess, really achieve that?
Yeah, I think, because you mentioned with the power struggle, I think so it starts there, and to kind of help out with that power struggle, and this is more like speaking from my personal experience, it starts with the parent first understanding rather than trying to control in the beginning. So for parents, like I would say to first understand your child in terms of what games do they like. So just ask them, like, what are you playing? What can you tell me about it? Like, or just watch a session of them playing. Understanding why they enjoy the specific game first, and then from there being a collaborative effort, almost like a teacher in a classroom where you're creating norms in the classroom. You want to do it with your students. You do the same thing with your child. So create some type of plan of like, all right, how about you do homework first and then you get to play video games, or chores. Maybe you do a chore and then you get to play video games. If they love online, one that works all the time is just change the Wi-Fi password and then give them the updated password once they've done a certain chore, done their homework.
So they've earned it.
Exactly. It becomes a more of an earning thing, an incentive that way.
Yeah.
And that's what worked for me. Like, I played video games, and the only thing I need to do, the agreement that I have with my parents, is that I need to make sure that I'm bringing home good grades. I'm not getting in trouble. And I'm still, doing everything I need to do in the house, outside the house. And as long as that's covered, then I can play whatever video games I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with the balance, sometimes there's still that struggle. Because I know with my son, it's responsibility first and then play second.
Yeah.
It's if you want, like what you're saying, the earning piece, it's never a no. That I never tell him, like, you cannot play. It's you come home from school, I'll give you 30 minutes of free time because you did have a long day. And if you want to play games in that 30 minutes, that's fine. Okay. But after those 30 minutes, it's straight homework. You're going to do everything you got to get done. And then once you've done all that, you could play your games while I'm cooking. And then but as a family, we're going to sit down together and eat dinner. That's the expectation.
Yeah.
And then after that, if there's enough time to play again, you could go play. But then it's like the whole bedtime routine, right? But there's that expectation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But come Friday, it's like a free-for-all. Because I'm like, we've worked so hard. It's fine. Yeah. There's no limitations on Friday unless there's like extracurriculars with sports. But I feel like that Monday through Friday thing for the most part works. And the free-for-all on Friday is like, that helps me to rest. But I feel like for us, it's kind of created that balance. But again, every family is so unique and different. Yeah. But what would you speak to even engaging our families with co-playing with their kids? Like my son has asked me so many times to play video games. It is not my thing, and I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So I've had to kind of supplement where I'll watch you play, but I don't want to play. And for him, like just watching him play means something to him. Kind of what you're talking about, like talk about the game and what are they interested in, why do they like it. So I have to sit there, and for him, it's meaningful that I'm watching this game that I really care nothing about, like these Spider-Man games and
those are
Spider
fun.
Morales.
I don't know.
Like,
Miles Morales game. It's pretty good. It's a good one.
I'm not coordinated. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But for my son, it's like he will love the co-play, but I'm like, I'll sit with you and I'll watch you, and that's like a point of connection too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I would say, so for like a parent, you love when you have like your child's doing something with you, whether it's cooking or like you have memories maybe like going out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the child, could be a core memory for them of like my parents playing with me.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that you're there watching them. I would maybe want to just play with them. Maybe it doesn't even have to be Spider-Man.
It has to be like Mario Kart or something.
Exactly. That could be another game.
Something simple, but
like,
he's not interested in those ones.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it depends on what he's interested in.
Yeah.
But even like you maybe messing around playing with it and then you're just messing up, like that could be a good memory for him. Like maybe he just laughs at it.
Yeah. I wish we could go back to the days where like it was like shooting the duck game.
Oh yeah,
it was just so
the
simple and
yeah.
enjoyable. But now it's so like technology is so advanced.
Yeah,
it's, like you said, the reflexes. I don't have that.
Yeah. It's interesting like the different games that people are into. So I don't know your son, but if he likes Spider-Man, I'm assuming he really likes action type of games, fast pace. That one's a little bit like a role-playing game too. So I would just try it. And it also doesn't have to be video games. Like it could be board games, it could be card games.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I could do any day.
Exactly. Like I play like at least every other week with my parents. We play Settlers of Catan.
Oh.
So we play board games there too. So like
Loteria.
That's how they started.
Right.
But I was like, let's play something a little bit more intricate.
A little bit that makes you think a little bit.
Exactly. But Loteria is good. It helps with my Spanish. Yeah, I think just playing with them, I think for sure. I love the idea that you have a structure and a routine with them too. And then a free-for-all on Fridays. I think that's a great plan to have and something that's worth trying for families if they don't already have that in their weekly plan with their child.
Right.
But just sitting down and just playing a game with them, I think it could be very beneficial.
It goes a long way, right?
It does.
Yeah. And I think you being here today is actually telling me, and not that you are saying this specifically, but I think not understanding the gaming world from the lens of a child, it's like I think I've really minimized the meaning of it to my son, or maybe trivialized it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think for me it was like, playing dodgeball outside in the streets with my siblings, that was fun. Or playing basketball in the backyard, that was fun. But it's a new day and a new age.
Right.
And I think a lot of things have taken place of what we had as kids, and it's electronic. It's huge in this day and age.
Yeah.
And it's very meaningful to our kids because it's their norm. It's what they're being raised in. They are entrenched in it now, right?
Yeah, especially if it's, someone who is really good at video games, because there is like a spectrum in terms of how good a student is. Just like in sports, baseball, basketball, like a student can be really good at video game, and then that can transition later in life, not just with like skills, but actual industry, a profession. Limoilou High, we have the esports program, and we've had 6 championships so far. So these are students who didn't have a community or didn't have a way to compete because they may be considered unathletic or they just weren't good at specific sports that we offer. But with esports, they had the chance to showcase their skills. And we've had students who compete at the national level with that and earn scholarship money.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So there is outlets for them to just continue growing, not just as a person, but as a gamer.
Right. I didn't know that, actually. You're kind of bringing up another point, going back to one of our other questions, like the benefits of gaming, that you can make a lifestyle of it and have, I guess, an income where it sustains your lifestyle as you get older.
Yeah.
But as parents, we don't think about that. We only kind of tend to think about all the red flags to gaming, right? I remember like even Minecraft. This just happened last night. My sister was telling me, I'm not letting my nephew's 5. Him play Minecraft. I'm like, what's wrong with Minecraft? I'm like, for me, I was thinking of it along the lines of like computer science, and it could actually help build some skills. Like I think with technology in that aspect, I always let my son play Minecraft because I thought it was very safe and appropriate. But she says like, oh, they have like blood now, and they've introduced different concepts to Minecraft. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I don't know much.
But there's some benefits to the Minecraft, right? Because that involves almost like a component of thinking like engineering, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And we actually offer here for after school programs is Minecraft EDU, which is Minecraft essentially, but kids are building and they're coding with Minecraft. So there are components to specific video games like Minecraft, where students are enhancing skills. And while it's fair for, parents to be a little worried or hesitant with specific games, especially when they're really young, and there's blood or anything like that. But there should be settings to turn those off. So as long as you're able to monitor that or change the settings, you should be good.
How can parents learn those features? I think some parents like me, I'm not technology savvy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually learning as I'm talking to you too.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So we can't know what we don't know. So how can a parent Minecraft is good. It could build engineering skills. Like these kids are exposed to early skill building in a technological format. But then there's these other concerns. So how can parents go about learning how to navigate these platforms in a safe way for their kids?
There are plenty of content creators that actually have videos about this for parents that they can look at on YouTube. The other thing is just talking with parents too who have child who are going through the same thing, and just building a community amongst yourselves. There are forums as well that parents can go in and hear a little bit more about what's happening or any things that are working for their child. And sometimes just talking to the child too, like just understanding the game, the settings, and you trying a little bit, you might learn something, and you might be able to figure out like, oh, maybe if I change this setting, now that I know that how to play, it might change things for my child.
When it comes to the gaming world, have you been able to go to different school sites to do workshops or seminars for parents? Because you're like a treasure trove of information in this world that a lot of us don't know the terrain.
Right. I haven't yet. So it's something that would be cool to do for sure.
Absolutely.
Like a parent workshop on gaming, just getting all the parents to just play some games and then talking about them, just so they kind of get entrenched in that world and then talking about it. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, I think I would benefit from something like that. Because again, it's I think the technology world, for those of us who are not necessarily entrenched in it, it's really overwhelming. It could be really intimidating. Yeah. So we just avoid it, and then we make these negative assumptions about it.
Sure, yeah.
And then we may stress our kid out because we don't understand it.
Right.
Right,
yeah.
And, but going back to kind of what we were talking about a little while ago as to maintaining the balance in the home, some of the parents feel like this all or nothing approach. I don't want it in my home. Or can it be reframed as even just basic free screen time, right?
Yes, yeah.
And where we bring it into the home of, okay, this is family time. Right. Every week we're going to spend just 2 hours together of zero gaming.
Yep. And
can you kind of speak to that, the importance of having screen-free time?
Sure, yeah. I think it's balanced, like you said in the beginning, right? So while you want to kind of build a plan or a structure at your home where not only do you have your own free time as a parent and the students have their own free time, there should be something where you guys are doing together. If you want to do that together without screens, I think that's great. It could be board games, it could be cooking together, it could be doing chores together, whatever the family wants to do together, I think that's great. It could be hiking, something where you're just doing it without the screens is a great idea. And then later in the day, then they can do their screen. Anything like that, I think it's a great plan to have something where you're doing it as a family and there's no screens. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And I think when you set those boundaries, then it probably actually reinforces a decrease in those power struggles between the parents.
Right.
Because parents, we get so tired of these power struggles, right? Yeah. And so how, with leveling up, are there recommendations or approaches that you could give to the parents that help to reduce those power struggles? I think it kind of even went back to when you were talking about some of the benefits and also the balance. I think there's an overlap with even the question I'm asking you right now. But can we talk to that a little bit about the power struggle?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we want to model it for sure. If, because I've talked about this with my parents, where they're get off the game, you're on it too long. It's going to hurt your eyes, it's going to hurt your brain kind of thing. But then I see them just watching TV all the time late at nights or on their phones. It's like
a double standard.
It's a double standard kind of thing. So as parents, our students, your child is learning from you. So if they're seeing like you can stay up late with screen time or you're on your phone when you're having dinner, stuff like that, like they're learning from that. So if you model kind of things like I'm gonna be off my phone during that time, or I'm gonna stop watching TV, or maybe a game. Maybe you're a gamer as a parent too. If you model like that behavior, it'll be easier and less of that power struggle. And then the other thing is understanding too, where just understanding what does your child enjoy, what do they like. I would say that is also a tip for parents to start reducing that power struggle, is just understanding them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be the two main ones.
Well, before we even began this podcast, we were having like a sidebar conversation, and you
Yeah.
gave this analogy too
Oh, yeah,
about the
yeah.
mother in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Can you share that with our families? 'Cause
Yeah.
that was really great.
Yeah, the conversation that we were having is about how you have the internet connected to the light switch. So when you turn it off, your son might not like it so much for sure. And so
Yeah, 'cause
now
he's in the middle of a game, and I'm
Right.
like, "We gotta go. You're not listening. It's 5 more minutes. 5 more
Yeah.
minutes." And I'm like, "We're turning it off." Bam, and
Yeah.
it's like, "What'd you do? I lost everything."
Yeah.
And my
and
person.
I've been there. I've been there where it's always 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and it's really tough, especially for an online game. Like you can't pause it. Like you're in the middle and you're entrenched in it. So the analogy is, imagine a parent, like Thanksgiving's coming right up, and you're cooking a beautiful meal, right? And all of a sudden the stove goes off, the gas is out, or the light is out, and you're unable to cook it. And to make matters even worse, the pot falls, or the food just falls on the floor, and now all the food is gone. So as a parent, how would you feel about that? You put all these hours into making this delicious, beautiful meal, and now it's gone. So you have to start over. You're like, oh, I have to go back and get more groceries. So for a kid, that's essentially what happened to him, right? He put in all this work, all this effort, and now it's gone, and he has to start all over. And sometimes that alone is like so heartbreaking that you put in all this effort to get this one thing or to pass a certain level, and starting over is just like, sometimes you don't even want to do it anymore. And now you're just like, what do I do now? So yeah, I would kind of look at it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't drop your food and all that.
Did you ever see the reel of the dad? He's in the backyard and he's just like, "I'm done, like with all of my son's gaming." And he gets like the whole, I don't know if it's like a PS5 station, but his gaming console, he gets it. He gets all of the discs, and he gets like his tractor or something like that, and like is running over all of them. And his son is just having a meltdown. And I'm like, talk about like the do's and the don'ts of
Right,
parenting. And that kid was just like so mad and screaming and crying. And I'm like, I don't even know this family. Like, my heart went out even to the son.
Right.
As a parent, I also understood the dad's frustration.
Sure, yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is why these conversations are so important, because we want to set boundaries with our kids. We want to have healthy, successful children. But at the same time, we have to maintain the connection with our children. And I think gaming is one of those things that as parents, we don't always understand, but it can be a point of connection with our children.
Absolutely.
So how can we actually create and foster more connection with our children through the world of gaming?
Be a gamer yourself, I would say. Yeah, I think you don't have to be good at it. It could be even a step like that you're doing with your son. We're just watching them play. Like you're essentially their first viewer, right? Like right now, all the kids know about is streaming. So they might be streaming, but with you there, they're technically streaming. They have a viewer, right? And then if you make little like comments like, "Oh, what's happening here?" and stuff like that, and then you get more like into the game, and they're gonna get a little bit more passionate and excited about like, "Oh, my mom's talking about. Let me try to help her and tell her what's going on."
And now that you're saying that, I'm like, wait, I might be reinforcing something that I don't want to happen all the time, because I'm thinking like, you're gonna just play this for 2-3 more hours because I'm reinforcing this. But really, what you're saying is like, I'm joining my child.
Exactly. Yeah. And then again, so I would also like just let parents know, like, again, I wouldn't say hours matter too much. They're just enjoying it, right? But if those hours are replacing certain things, then that's where you have to kind of come back to it. But if it's like the Friday free for all kind of thing, Yeah, hours are fine as long as they're enjoying it and they're having fun.
Yeah, I think joining our kids more than policing
Yeah.
is key too. I remember when my son just recently won the Spider-Man game. I don't know. There's so many different games, but it was a Spider-Man game. It was like a movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
As they're playing it. And he got to the end of it, like he won the game. And he was
Yeah.
just so happy
True.
and so excited. And it was like, I think that's another component for families. Like, I actually joined my son in celebrating for him.
Yeah.
Like, good job, you did it, you stuck with it.
Yeah.
And then he was like actually calling my uncle to like let him know. Like he was so
That's
proud,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
That he won the game. So I think even joining our kids and celebrating their wins together is huge as well.
Yeah. The contrast between the video you just talked about of like the dad running over, and then there's another video of like parents celebrating one of their kids' like first Fortnite win. Like, if you celebrate their wins, just like you're saying, that's going to be a core memory for that child. And I think that'll be very powerful for them.
Yeah, 'cause I remember back in the Nintendo world of Mario Brothers, like, it was so hard to get to the end of the dungeon and to save the princess.
Yeah.
And that was, again, like the old school 1980s
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, you get to the end, you're just so happy. But we forget that as parents. Like, if it was meaningful for us, how much more for our kids, right?
Yeah, the empathy, like just putting your feet in their tiny shoes for sure, and just, being a kid with them. I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Well, every week when we have our guests, as we're concluding the podcast, we give our families a take-home challenge, something that they can do this week as a family or for their kids. So today we are talking about leveling up the do's and don'ts of gaming, where we're promoting balance in the home while also promoting connection for our families, our parents with their children. As our guest, what is something that you could recommend that a parent could try this week to level up in their parenting while maintaining their connection with their child, but in the context of gaming?
Sure. Yeah. Well, holidays, breaks are just around the corner. So this could be a perfect time to just, sit down with your child and just play a game. Where it can just have them choose the game. So either you take the helm and you're playing the game and they kind of tell you what to do, or you guys are playing together. I would just say just learn more about what games are your child is doing, and then just play with them. And then see how it goes. You might become a gamer yourself.
Yeah. Actually, so before we end, that leads me to another question then for you.
Sure, yeah.
I guess monitoring what kind of games they are playing.
Yeah.
And who gets to determine that?
The rating system kind of determines it. There is ratings with, E for everyone, T for teens, M for mature. So there is ratings on the games that tell you like what's age appropriate. But with certain games, like for Call of Duty, for example, it's a big one that we have. There are settings you can turn off, like the blood, for example. There are,
So you could turn off the graphics within the game?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
you
didn't
can,
know that.
so you could take off like some of the gore or anything like that. But even now, Call of Duty is becoming more of another game like Valorant, for example. It's a shooter game, but it's becoming kind of like, I wouldn't say childish, but it's not supposed to emulate real guns or real life. Like it's like lasers and stuff like that. So I would say you will know more by playing the game if it's too much for your child. Like you know your child more than any of us will. Yeah. So the rating system was there to help guide a little bit. You can kind of make the determination when you play the game if it's too much for them.
Okay. Yeah. So looking at the ratings on the box while also observing the game in real time and then making the decision as a parent if this is right for my child or not.
Right, yeah. And you can even go on Twitch or YouTube to check the game out first. Look at the reviews, check out some gameplay, and then see for yourself like, oh yeah, maybe this game would be good for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever buy the used games, or do you always buy like just the brand new ones?
As a kid, used.
Used?
Yeah, because I used my own money to pay for a lot of my games too.
Because these games could be really pricey, the brand new stuff, right?
Especially now, especially with Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're getting very pricey. And then there's like new games that come out every week, every month. So
used is still good because they only tend to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I would definitely get used ones if that's open to, as long as it's working. Even just like hand-me-downs. Like sometimes when I was done with games, I would hand it down to my nephews and stuff like that too. So
it saves the parents some money if they're the ones buying it.
Yeah.
They're like $45, $60, $80 for one game, and I'm like, man. Like you said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So like I saw how much kind of money it was growing up. So I didn't want my parents to spend too much on that. So like I kind of worked with them in terms of like I had a little job on the side, and then I did chores around the house that kind of like made a little bit
And you
money
saved
to
your
that.
money.
And I saved my money, and I got like my first HD TV during that time, and then the games. So even something like that for parents, like if you want them to kind of buy their own games too, or their accessories, like helping them with like chores, like me cutting the grass, it was like $5 or something like that.
Right.
So little incentives like that could help as well.
I know. I actually was proud of my son because that's what we did every year. He would save all his birthday money, his gift cards to maybe like GameStop,
Yeah.
Christmas money. He would just save everything for years. And the end goal was because he always wanted like a PlayStation. I'm like, I'm not going to buy that thing. That's like $500. If you want it, you figure it out. And when he was 8.5, he saved enough cash, and then somebody had given him a gift card to GameStop, and he went and bought his first PS5 all by himself.
Yeah.
But I think he learned at a young age, like you save, and then you have your reward. And he was so proud that he was the one that purchased it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a big moment for
sure.
a kid.
Yeah.
Right? But you're teaching responsibility, even fiduciary. I can't even pronounce that word. Financially, we'll just say
Sure.
financially.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like we could go on forever on this topic.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful that you came today because
thank
this is
you.
such an area, again, that a lot of us don't understand. And it would be really amazing if we could expose you, like district-wide, in this whole world of gaming and teaching our families, because I think you're a wealth of information in this whole industry of gaming that, again, we're so green to.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm still learning too. So, but thank you. I appreciate it. Gaming is just it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably a stress reliever for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Too?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes it could add a little bit more stress. So that's a red flag. If it's adding a little bit more stress in there, then
chest pains, the heart palpitations,
for
sweaty, I guess, hands and all that. Yeah.
I will say, if you notice that your child is doing really well in a specific game, especially if it's an esports game, I would look into seeing if there's any competitions locally. We have in Linwood, there's a lot of gamers here who are really good.
Okay, what's it called again?
The
competitive gaming?
Esports?
Esports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Esports, I have former students who still compete now in Smash. And there's like bigger tournaments that happen locally. So it's almost like taking your kid to a basketball game.
Right.
It's the same thing, and they can earn money. They can earn prizes. It's great. It's a good system to have.
So it's good to know, like, when they're gaming, it's not necessarily that they're lazy or they're being irresponsible, but they might actually be gifted and talented in this world, the digital world, right? And like being, I guess, with digital citizenship is something that we could help enable if we do see that there's a skill there and build upon that.
Yeah.
No, I love it because we only think of skills in terms of, I think, extracurriculars with football, basketball, soccer, maybe hockey, but I've never thought about it in terms of the electronical tech world ever.
And we're right now just talking about electronic, like that's a niche on its own, and consoles especially that we're talking about. But there's competitions, mobile games that a lot of students play. I think one of them's like Clash Royale or Clash of Clans. That's a competitive game too. Hearthstone, another competitive game, and then Pokemon, TCG, they have their own competitive game online, but then they also have the paper version, which is still considered an esport, even though it's not electronic. The card games is still something that students can compete in locally.
Yeah. Wow. So much to learn.
There's a lot.
There is so much. And we're just like barely even at the tipping point, right?
Yeah.
And we could just keep unpacking this more and more. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, this is Mr. Jonathan Martinez. Or you could contact Student Services Department for more information should you be more curious about the world of gaming and the do's and don'ts of it. Thank you, parents, for joining in. And remember that it's not about being a perfect parent, but about being a parent who continues to connect with their children so that they could thrive, not just in relationship with you, but in all areas of their development. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you check in again for our next episode of Beyond the Classroom podcast. Thank you, and have a good day.